Hello and welcome to Show Up, Stand Out online visibility series for entrepreneurs. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I am a visibility strategist. Recently have been branded as a visibility queen or the queen of visibility. Wow, that's a big one. Well, I'm taking it, I'm owning this, and I'm bringing you an amazing person, actress, mother, or woman, and the branding director, Ariane de Melo. Ariane, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm honored to be here with the Visibility Queen.
It's going to be crazy, guys. I'm so excited because Ariane is one of a kind. You really don't meet people like her very often. Her presence, her charisma. You meet her once and you will never forget her. And the most exciting thing for me is that she's taking this strength and she's creating a business around it, teaching other people and coaching people how to use their presence and their voice through acting, their confidence, and to speak publicly or do what we're doing here, speak through the camera to the world and get their voices heard. So Ariane, tell me a little bit about your background and how you ended up doing the whole branding director business.
Oh, it goes way back. That's the funny thing. I started in the theater properly when I was very little. So I am still short. That's not what I mean. When I was a little child, I was a child model. So this is a kind of model child. And I've been everywhere on stages. Then when I was about 8 or 9, I went to an agency. So an agency found me and I started taking acting classes for the camera. This was my first contact with acting properly. When I was about 11, my father came to me because I was very dramatic and I like to play with things and my body and my voice. And my dad came to me and he said, I think you have what it takes to be an actress. So would you like to? I can go to the theater and I can just sign you up. And that's what he did. There was a workshop. It wasn't a workshop. There were proper classes for 1 year or 2 years, and he just signed me up. That's how it started, and I never stopped. I've been an actress for my whole life. Funny thing, I entered a company in Brazil. This is very huge and very common that you have a company like French Mulher or the Comédia dell'arte that used to have. You have a company from actors and you present your plays. I used to be in one of those companies. We've been on festivals, on small theaters, big theaters, on the streets with it was the craziest thing ever to pay for thousands, literally thousands of people on a street fast. It was amazing. Then I always wanted to work with communication because I always said, no, I'm not earning my money with acting because I know the actors cannot earn a lot of money. So I'm not doing this professionally. I wanted to be a journalist. Little did I know that journalists also don't make money.
I love it. Yes, it's true. It's true.
It is the thing. I wanted to do 2 things that I loved that get people broke. I don't know what the hell. But okay. I wanted to be a journalist and I didn't know. I studied to be a journalist. Then I came to Germany later and I kept on writing. I went to work with communications for magazines. And there was a time in my life, I came to Germany when I was 19, that I was asking myself what to do with my life. So, about 22 years old, I start asking, what do I want from this? And I was saying, if I stay here, what is it? What am I going to do? Then I wanted to go back to the only thing that I knew how to do was acting. And it was the place that I love the most in the whole world. This is true. And then I said, okay, if a school takes me so I can study, I will stay. If it doesn't, I will go. So I'm still here. Imagine what happened. I struggled a lot because I didn't speak any German when I came here. I had to learn the language to speak on the stage. This was the most insane thing I've ever done in my life. But it worked. I had a very hard personal lifetime at the time. But I went through it all, and I even made it to work on the theater as an actress. And later on, I got a mentor that transformed me in a director, because I never knew I had what it takes to be a director. I had so much respect for this profession, because you have everything in your hands. You tell the story. You need to guide your actors. You need to tell the whole story. It's like you're writing something for people to see. That's insane. And it was so much responsibility that I didn't know I have what it takes. But it turned out I did. And I did this. I worked with communication, and I worked with sales, because I sold clothes in many stores, which was my favorite job, by the way. Yeah, it was my favorite kind of job. Every time I needed a part-time job, I went into sales. I loved doing this. In a store and one-on-one with people and selling clothes was so fun. I really used to love this. One day, I was just thinking that I had to do something on my own. I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job, because I had one. It was a fun job. I had a nice boss and nice colleagues, but I was dying innerly. I really couldn't take that. But I didn't want to go out of the art anymore. I had done this before, and it didn't work, because that's who I am. So I went to watch. I had this MLM phase in my life. I think everybody does.
I didn't. I just skipped right into the visibility thing.
Most people, or many people have. And I started going to watch a lot of public speakers. The great ones that are fee paid and a lot paid, and the ones that are just speaking, and they were awful. And everything was awful. And there was no scenery, and there was no presence, and no voice, and no storytelling properly. And that's what came the idea. I mean, this is what you do. So you go there and you work with people. You can help people to do that. And this is actually a thing you can make money with and be everywhere, because it was important to me. That's why I started working online. And that's how the idea was born. I have also a social media agency. We do Facebook pages with organic reach. But I wanted to do something with my art. And then I found Desislava Dobreva, our queen. And she helped me to build the brand I am today.
Yeah, Desislava is brilliant. She's so spot on with recognizing what your brand is, helping you tweak it, helping you find your strengths. It's absolutely brilliant. The takeaway here, guys, with this story, that you need to know who you are. That's what Ariane keeps saying. I know who I am, so I know that this is not going to work for me. I know this. It's lovely and it's handy, but it's not going to work for me, because so at the end of the day, a lot of people are a little bit lost sometimes especially when they're thinking about, oh, what is my mission in life? What do I have to do? And they're looking outside, and I've been there as well. For a little short time, I was looking outside, and I completely didn't look inside the strengths that I already have, and the patterns from my life. What were the patterns that were real visible and real obvious that this is what I should be doing, until I sit down and wrote down the story of my life, like you just told the story of your life, and you can see. But you can see if you do the bullet points, you don't have to write it like a novel. But if you do bullet points, you definitely see your strengths, and you can see, okay, well, look, I'm very tenacious. I bounce back from my adversity. I use my presence to, when I need, I do it, things like that.
I always say the witch, the theater witch, she comes out and she gets me back to the stage.
It gets you back, exactly. But if it's in your heart. I think that's when you find a way to combine who you are, express yourself in completely authentically. This is what you see is what you get, which that's exactly what Ariane is. I absolutely love her because she is wacky. She's wacky, guys. She is real. Like, she's not a subtle person, but I love it because that's just the way she is. She's consistent in it. It's not a put on act, because you can always tell when it's not an act, when it's consistent. Every time you meet her, every time you hear her speak, every time, no matter if, what's what situation. Consistency always shows if you're real or if it's an act, right? But let me bring this conversation back into what you actually do for people, and talking about the voice and talking about the presence, because we may not be doing public speaking here. I know a lot of people who are watching my show, some of them are doing public speaking as well with what their messages, and some of them really want to, and some of them, they just want to start doing this, which is a form of public speaking too.
It is.
Yeah, it is. And so the voice and the presence, like what sort of tips would you give to somebody who maybe they come to you and they say, Ariane, I'm afraid, I don't know, I don't think I have any presence, I don't think I have any voice. Where do I start? How could we help somebody?
I always say that stage presence or camera presence, by the way, live streaming is one of the things I work with the most, which is funny because so many entrepreneurs, they know how important is the live streaming for Facebook, how important it is to be on video out there, and they don't know how to do it, or they are so afraid of going live on Facebook that they know they're missing something. So this is definitely a form of public speaking, absolutely, and it's an important one because it's reaching a lot of people and it's helping your business. I always say that presence on camera, on stage, is a state of mind, and I think it's interesting to see this that way. People think you need to be born with it. You don't need to be born with anything, everything you can learn. You just need to put it in your mind, put it in the work, and it's going to happen. My favorite exercise is to send the energy. It sounds a little spiritual, but it's not. It's really
welcome on my show. It's welcome on my show. Bring it on.
It's energy, the energy that you have in your body. If you put this energy to work, I don't know, if you run a little at home, you do a little Cooper, you do a little dancing, you do a little stretching or something.
Shake your body up, get that blood flowing.
Absolutely. You get this energy and you get this adrenaline flowing, and then you think that you have this diamond or the sun, something that is growing in your chest, and it's shining. And you can also imagine that you have some arrows of energy going everywhere. I like to say when you are on stage, but you can do this on camera as well. You think that the last person, you can do this also here, you think that the last person on the last chair, it's an older, deaf woman that needs to hear and see you. So you need to stretch out your energy and your presence to this person, and you're going to be so much bigger. One thing that I like to say a lot is about presence is the person you talk to changes everything. Sometimes we are afraid to talk to strangers. So don't. You look at this camera and you picture someone you really care about. Picture someone you feel comfortable with talking to. This is the person you were going to look into the eyes and you're going to have a conversation with. So the time, from the moment you have something else in your mind, you have a friendly face, you're going to change everything. You're going to be more relaxed. You're going to have a more chatty conversation with your audience, and people are going to sense it. Okay, this is not being fake or something. This is helping yourself to do the job well done because you want to help these people. You just don't know how to bring it there. So you can change what you think, and by changing what you think, you change how you behave. And this is one thing that works every time.
It's absolutely brilliant advice. I've interviewed so many people who do live video, and there was interesting, depending on their background, there was interesting way, and I will share how my relationships with my camera, or right now 2 cameras. My relationships with the camera is that I absolutely trust it 100% more than anybody in the world, because it's not judging me.
That's a good one.
There is no judgment. The camera is the camera. I share my secrets with her. It's like you have a diary and you write it in the diary, you know, and the piece of paper doesn't judge you, you know. So when I want to share, the moment when I'm flowing and the moment when it's easiest for me, it's not when I see people's comments. That's something that is distracting in a way. So I kind of hide them when I have something to deliver. But I do notice that when I just share, like journaling, it's like voice journaling. When I share from the heart, things just flow. There is no fear. There is nothing there that's threatening. And sometimes, you know, it can happen. Some people are afraid of judgment. They're afraid of what other people can say. They're afraid to show their vulnerability because they're afraid that they will be hurt. And yes, we're on social media. There's so many people on the back of that camera that you might not know, but they might follow you. And, you know, I always say, put your profile on public. You need to be seen by people. But yes, there'll be one or two. I had in the whole 2 years that I'm doing my thing here and doing live videos, I only had one time a situation where I got upset. Actually, it was last week when somebody who is not my friend just started, you know, harassing me and I like saying to me, you know, add me on Facebook, you're beautiful and all that on my live stream. And that really threw me off my vibe, you know, because I found that I'm not good at being chatted up, you know, I'm like, go away first kind of girl. So I got really like, what are you doing on my stream? And I switched it off and I deleted it because I felt really bad then. I felt like my privacy was my privacy was violated. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I am someone who is not afraid every day, no matter what, go and, you know, do live, tell other people to show up and tell other people, no, don't think about, you know, who is out there. That guy was harmless. Whatever he said wasn't harmful. It's just my reaction was, he just distracted me. But you know what? That happens quite rarely. Unless you are a very polarizing person yourself with very strong opinions, then you will have some people who will disagree with you. That's okay. That happens too. But on Facebook, I find, as opposed to what I hear from Periscope, I'm not a big person on Periscope, but on Facebook, we get much less trolls, much less people who are abusing you during your live streams. You know, as I said, in 2 years, I only had like one, and that's not really even abuse, it's just my reaction. So in a way, like a lot of things, you can trust the camera. Nobody's going to, like, there's not going to be like a hand coming out and punching you in the face or something, or your life will stop, or you know, you're going to go
away.
Yeah, it's just something that we're dealing with. This I shared the story because I want, you know, it's just, I can be vulnerable too sometimes. You know, we are not born like super confident or something. This is something that you're learning to enjoy, kind of, you know, on demand.
And that's an interesting thing you said. I have what I call my foundation program. And the F is for focus. Because that's exactly what happens. Things happens all the time. Somebody comes and you get upset. How to overcome the situation, how to focus so that you can come back or you can handle it at the moment. It doesn't mean that you are not allowed to get upset, because you are. We are all humans. It's how we work with the situation and how we get back on track. Focusing, it's one very important skill in case you out there are willing to be a public speaker, you want to host your own events, or you want to be a fee paid. It's important that you work on your focusing skills, because when you are on stage, things are going to happen. The mic will stop working. It happened to me, I don't know how many times.
I fell down the stage once.
Me too.
It just happened that there was a gap. So, you know, you just had to be prepared.
There was a gap. That's mean.
Well, it was a quick put together stage. I wasn't talking, I was singing, I was in a band. Then I just disappeared because I fell down.
Oh my God.
Then I came out and I, you know, just as nothing happened. And
I fell off my...
Like, show must go on, guys, you know.
Yeah,
but it's true what you're saying about focusing, because when I started doing my live streams, and I am an extremely distractible person, and sometimes, especially in the beginning, I would I'll wing it, and I didn't make any notes or anything. So my mind would go blank, and I don't remember what I was talking about. And, you know, so this is such an important skill. Tell me a little bit more about that foundation principle.
So the foundation, I created the foundation program based on my acting background, based on what I see. I've watched a lot of public speakers because I like doing that. I like go and watching people, experts talking about their businesses. Many people have helped me. And that's why I think it's important, because you're actually helping people with your business. Either if you are motivating or if you're selling your products and services, you are helping people. I've been helped many times. So I have been watching people doing things like storytelling, for example. People don't know, we know because we come from the theater, so we actors, that storytelling, for telling the story, not storytelling as a topic, telling the story, it's important for you to train your observation skills. This is one thing. It's one of the main things we learn as actors. So foundation is focus, observation, actually observing yourself. Observe what do you do, how you feel when you get a no, how you felt when this guy came on your life, how did your body feel, how it was from the inside. Because once you observe yourself and you learn how to do this, once you learned and you practice it, it's going to be an autopilot. You cannot shut it down anymore. You're going to be observing, which is good. So you don't need to be doing this actually. The first times, yeah. So once you observe yourself and you know what your body does, how does it feel? If there's something in your stomach, in your throat, you can put this, and you should, in your storytelling, because this is going to be more colorful and easier for people to picture. If I say that my skin crawled and then my tongue just got dry like paper, and I do this, you can feel it better.
Yes, I can. I definitely can.
Because we all know these sensations. So if you observe yourself and you observe other people, what they do, how they feel, how they react, there are two things that are going to happen. You're going to be a better storyteller, and you're going to be able to read people's body language. So on a call, on a talk, you'll be able to persuade them. You know what they are sending, a non-verbal communication, that's what it's for. You know what they're sending, and then you can work with it, and it's going to make it easier. You're going to be more persuasive, more entertaining.
And creating a better connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you just observe how people do something, how people say something, and when you're telling a story, you just be that person. You just talk differently, and then you be yourself again. And that's funny, and this makes it all bigger and more interesting. This is observation, and then we have U for uniqueness. I tell people all the time, we don't need two Beyoncés in the world. Doesn't matter how amazing Beyonce is, I love her, you love her, so many people love her, but she is one person. And so don't try to copy and be the bad copy of someone else. Be your unique self. It doesn't matter if you think you are boring, you're not. Everybody has something that it's interesting. You just need to put it out and work with it. So we were at foundation. D is for dare. They're doing things that you didn't think you would, like dressing up or dancing or flirting. I always say that public speaking, it's a little flirting with your audience. So dare to be flirting.
Of course, because people like attention. On live stream, it's calling out their names. It's the same thing, and it's
absolutely
really, people love it.
Look at the camera and just flirt with people. I don't know, just be daring, do something. Then we have the A for add creativity. Oh, I'm not creative. It's the first thing people say. I mean, oh, you can imagine stuff. Can you make yourself crazy about something that didn't happen? Yes, I can. So you can imagine things. You are creative. Don't worry about that. You are allowed to use something, because we all like music, or we like paintings. We like something Even if you're a very logical person, I always find in all of my clients that say, oh, but I'm a logical person, I always find something that is creative so they can use. So don't be afraid. We have foundation. Now we are on the T, and it's for technique. Technique is important. It's important for you to know how to put your voice, especially if you are on a stage. On the camera, you have the mic, it's easier. You are sitting, you don't need to send. But once you learned how to project your voice for the stage, you're going to have a better presence on camera as well. So I always say the technique of the delivery, your posture, your voice projecting, to control objects, and do things controlled and not just, we want to be professional. We want to be professionally natural. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah, even when you do this, you look controlled.
because this is from the whole time. Yeah.
Yes.
And you control your body, you control the way you speak and the way you look, because this will make you more charismatic, because focus and control is charisma. You trust this person more. So please don't just think you don't need technique when you go to stage. You do. Maybe you don't need as much technique as I do when I go to stage.
I was just going to say, it doesn't mean that you're going to be all talking like it's, you know, she might be your cup of tea. You might absolutely love it. You might say, well, it's a bit too much for me. That's okay, because we're not talking about, you know, becoming what Ariane is. We're talking about finding your way.
Exactly. That's so important to know. It's not about copying me. It's about finding the way that it's right for you. And there are some people, they are more serious than me. I'm a clown, and they are more closed and introverts, and they do amazing jobs with storytelling. It's not about copying what I do. It's about the technique that suits you. So we have foundation, impact. Impact comes from this whole thing. I created this program to help people to have more impact on camera or on the stage. Even when they're just speaking, even if it's just voiceover, you will feel it, you will hear it. That's why actors do voiceovers, by the way. Because
exactly. They know how to, yes.
You actually play the whole character behind. You need to do a lot more when you're not seen than when you are. And this is an impact foundation. We are on, I think I skipped an N for naturality, but.
Okay, I'm dyslexic too. I didn't even notice, but we can come, well, let's just put it in here.
Was the N for naturality. And I always say to be natural on stage is not to be chaotic yourself and not have the technique. To be natural means that you rehearsed and you prepared this so well, you're feeling so comfortable. You can do this in your sleep, and then you're natural. The more you prepare, the more you rehearse it, the more natural you are going to be. And this is what I say. I get people and I teach them the technique so they can be professionally natural. We don't want people talking like this and being professional, and that's not what we want. We want to see natural people, but we also want to know, we want to feel what they are telling us, and therefore you need the technique. So the last O would be originality, which is basically add creativity in there together. Be original. Do something that you like, you have an idea. Like me, for example, I write dark fantasy novels that I published in Portuguese, which is my mother language. I'm a published author with 2 books out there, and they are poetical dark fantasy. I wrote this because I love this, and there's almost anything to read or to watch that suits this category. It doesn't exist. So I went out there and I wrote it myself. That's what originality is about. Get this one thing you like and you don't see, and use it for yourself. And the last one, I say this is the new method. It's my method. I created it based on my experience, my observations, to help people to make a real impact, come out of their shells, because that's what we want. We want a good you and not a bad somebody else. Take notes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so that you sold it basically here. And you know, so how can we find out more about the foundation method and how to work with you?
My foundation methods is everywhere. I have on almost every post that I post.
So we can follow you on Facebook anyway, at the very least.
Absolutely. I have a free group right now. It's called the Star Speaker Society, because I said I don't train speakers, I create stars. That's where I want to go, and I work with my clients to be, because I prepare them to be entertainers. I say educational entertainers.
Yes, entertaining is such an important part of this whole thing. You know, like if when you are somewhere and you're in the room, somebody starts talking, or the live video, somebody starts talking, after 3 minutes you just get bored, and that's it. Your attention is not there. It's the entertainment factor that grabs that attention.
Absolutely. So I say the Star Speaker Society is a free group. It's out there, and I have, for example, Storytelling Monday.
Ooh, nice.
Which I tell people, upload your videos, ask questions. And I can go there and I give feedback. And as soon as the group is it's growing now, it's a new group. As soon as we have more members, I will go with a challenge, and we're going to prepare some stories with structure and delivery. So we can go through Facebook and learn how to tell the story. So this is one great opportunity, actually, because there I can do basically everything, because it's the group. And it's focused on this one thing, and you can ask me questions. But of course, you can always like my page. It will be working very well now that I just put one of my team members to take care of it.
What is the page name?
It's actually my name, Ariane de Melo.
Perfect.
And you will find the branding director, and you'll see that's me. And of course, my Facebook profile, because I'm there every day, and Instagram. Just I share a lot of free value on a daily basis, basically. You can just go there, watch my lives, my videos, take note. And in case you really need help and you need to do this, you need guidance, shoot me a DM and we work it out.
Perfect. Ariane, thank you so much for being my lovely guest. I think it was there were so many value bombs. You know what I wrote down, not for myself, but as the title for this is, don't be a bad copy of someone else. Find
That's
yourself. Good. I love it. This is a beautiful slogan. Thank you again for being my guest, guys. If you have any questions for Ariane, or definitely join the group. The links are all in the description of this video. So join the group, follow her, learn how to be yourself, and tap into that creativity that you do have, and that uniqueness, and learn how to tell the story through cameras or public speaking. And you know what? It's just going to make you feeling better about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also
because you're gonna have fun.
It's a journey to find yourself and lose yourself from this whole corporate and boring, and just be a child again and learn how to have fun, because this is so important.
Exactly. Guys, I will see you soon in another episode of Show Up, Stand Out. Ariane de Melo, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Everybody have a fantastic day, and yeah, have fun and embrace yourself. See you all later.